Stan Gibilisco here, W1GV, Whiskey 1, Golf, Victor. The time is 4:08 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, August 25th, 2013. That would be 22:09 Zulu. We're going to do a little band watch. It's a Sunday afternoon or evening, depending upon your frame of mind. It feels more like evening to me. What is the official time boundary line between afternoon and evening anyways? Supper time? 5 p.m., 6 p.m.? That sounds like he's rag chewing, or she. That is a Mobile CW station in AE5. I can just imagine Mobile CW across Texas. Sounds like a plan. Remember driving from Miami to LA, that I got tired of one ocean, decided to go to another one. So I got in my vehicle in February of 1997 in Miami and drove west till I got to the other ocean. Then I lived there for a year and a half in LA. Anyway, the interesting thing, driving across Texas, there were places where there were no cell phones. There was no FM repeaters in sight. HF Mobile would have been the only way to go. I'm thinking about doing that again. I've done Mobile CW. It's a blast. The old Vibroplex, a Vibro keyer paddle and a keyer. And is that even legal anymore? I mean, like, they're making everything illegal. Pretty soon, it'll be illegal to even talk about doing mobile radio. I mean, for fear that somebody might actually go ahead and do it and endanger human life. Thereby you are endangering the human population by talking about the idea of mobile radio. That makes you a felon. N4. Well, he is good and strong. So this band is obviously open to the southern U.S. Good to hear all these stations on CW. That's, I've got the sideband filter. Actually, though, it's, what are my sideband filters? The widest one is 2.6 kilohertz, that's for listening to voice. 1.5 kilohertz, that's usually for phase shift keying. And then 50 hertz, which I use to really zero in on a PSK signal. I'll show you that in a minute, maybe, how that works. Here is the PSK part of the band. Let's just tune in a signal. Now I've got that zeroed in at 1500 hertz. Every time I tune a signal in to 1500 hertz, it disappears. I've got one there now, and he disappeared the instant I pressed that button. I mean, look, imagine the power that I must have. What sort of a man is this that even the PSK stations on 20 meters ham radio bands conspire to confound him? What manner of man is this? Let's try again. There, you hear that? That is just one PSK station. I wish I could show you the waterfall alongside this display, because there are other signals. You open it up, 2.6 kilohertz, 1.5 kilohertz, 50 hertz. So narrow that it's hard to actually tune them in. But that, the data rate is slow enough that even at 50 hertz bandwidth, it'll get through. Now, I think that's a bona fide MFSK signal right there. I showed you what that sounded like on previous video. I'll do that again. Now that's me, but I'm not actually transmitting. It's just making the audio through the speaker. I've got the interface off. It's sending CQDX, CQDX, W1GV, and etc., etc. So that's what MFSK 16 sounds like. That is radio teletype at 170 hertz shift. Do they go in bits per second now to specify radio teletype speeds, or do they still use baud or words a minute? Well, anyway, that is the 14 megahertz band. Let's go to the 18 megahertz band. Start at the top, just for kicks. There's the top of that band. Down, down, down. I did hear a signal there. It's not dead. Well, there's a signal. Let's go down to the CW part. I didn't know they even allowed sideband on this band until I checked a few weeks ago. Because I use sideband so infrequently that maybe it's the 10 megahertz band that they don't. Or do they allow sideband there yet? You know, actually they should. I guess, I don't know. Should you or shouldn't you? 15 meters. Well, now I don't have W1AW to use as a beacon. Those are just artifacts that seem to really pepper this particular band. Artifacts from my computers and things like that. Well, that sounded like that was a station. That would be the phase shift keying part of the band right there. 24,890. ZL, that's New Zealand. Well, it is daylight in that direction. Finally, a fairly good long distance station on a band like this. My antenna isn't tuned for this band, doggone it. He wants Montana or South Dakota. Well, he's going to have to call for a while to get that, but I'm in South Dakota. Let's give it a shot, even though the antenna isn't tuned. I doubt that I'd be able to get him. First of all, he's very weak. Secondly, and that means I'd be weak at his QTH. Secondly, the antenna SWR is like 7-to-1. I don't have the 24 megahertz antenna. I do have one though, but I don't have it in there. I don't have it put up. And I'm only running 10 watts, and I refuse to run any more than 10 watts. QRP, I guess, is 5 watts or less, right? By definition. Or what is it? But 10 watts is getting pretty close. Well, I did try. I tried. I could have raised them, you know. Sometimes that kind of thing can happen. Let's try 28 megahertz to finish this one up. There's that same old hashy stuff. That chook, 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 chook. That's a birdie. Listen down on 11 meters. Yeah, there's a signal. I won't bother to try and tune him in, because I wouldn't understand him any better if I tuned him in than I would if I didn't. Some of that jargon is so thick that I can't decipher it any more than a foreign language. Well, it is a foreign language, foreign to me. Well, there was a signal up there, and it was probably skipped, because out here in South Dakota, unless it was some rancher, maybe. Well, there's some signals, but see, you got to be on sideband to hear their carriers, or I probably wouldn't even be able to pick them up. Well, the purpose in checking this band is just to see whether this part of the HF spectrum is open, because sometimes there's nobody on 10 meter CW. It would be a perfectly viable band. That's Spanish, I can tell it. Well, I'll bet a lot of South Americans take advantage of this band, just like some of our ranchers out west here maybe still do. Maybe. I have a CB radio in my vehicle, and I've never heard anything of any use on it. Of course, I don't listen to it that much, but I've heard plenty of skip earlier in the spring this year. Well, that'll do it. Bandwatch W1GV, 20 meters is open. The 18 megahertz band is apparently open too, although not much there. Even 24 megahertz and 27 megahertz are open. So, 73 from Dakota Territory, United States of America. I was in South Dakota. That ZL wanted me. That's not in the CB part of the band. Those are freebanders, probably. But hey, you know, in some parts of the Western Hemisphere, there is no law. Stan Gibalisco, W1GV. Signing off, 73. So long.